Hey guys, it's Hannah here. I wanted to do a video a little bit different from my regular beauty videos. This one is actually about astrology. Yes, astrology. So, a little bit about me. I have been into astrology for quite some time. It started off as a kid, actually. My mom was very much into astrology, but really just the sun signs. And I didn't really think much of it. You know, a lot of the time, like, you will read the daily horoscopes. You're like, to me, it's kind of a bunch of mumbo jumbo, the daily horoscopes. However, what really changed my perspective on astrology, I'm a Cancer sun, and I was at a hair appointment, and my hairstylist was pretty spiritual. And she asked me what my rising sign was, and I had no idea what a rising sign even was. First time I've ever even heard of it. And basically, in order to look up your rising sign, you need the date, your date, time, and location of where you were born. And your rising sign is the sign that was going over the eastern horizon at the time of your birth. So for me, I am a Libra rising. So she asked me when I was born. I knew that information. My mom would tell me all the time. And so I went ahead and looked it up. So to me, I haven't always felt like I resonated as a Cancer. I can be definitely nurturing, sensitive, blah, blah, blah. However, I'm very much somebody that really enjoys intellectual conversation and stimulation, going out and doing things, travel, adventure, exploring, things like that. And so those things are not typically Cancer related activities. However, when I started to read about my rising sign, it was amazing. It's like, oh my God, this resonates so much. And then as I started to read into my chart a bit more, I just discovered all this stuff, and I was like amazed at the accuracy and just how everything ties in together. I mean, if you think about it, right, we're in a solar system, there's the stars and the planets in the sky. And if you look up, what I find pretty fascinating, there's an app you can download. It's called Night Sky. And you can shine it up. Like, let's say, for example, you see a star in the sky and you want to know exactly what it is. You can hold your phone up, and based on the GPS location and so forth, it will tell you what that particular star is. And then you can see the different constellations and the different planets, and it's pretty amazing. Like, you can see Mars in the sky, definitely. You can see how red it is. You can see Venus, Jupiter. It's so amazing. So for people to just disregard astrology is crazy to me. I think sometimes it's beyond comprehension, and so I can understand that, but just to completely disregard an idea because you don't mentally understand it, I think is a little bit ignorant, honestly. I think as people, at least this is my personal perspective, and I'm happy to share more of this stuff, but I believe that we're right now we're on our own journey. And I think part of that journey is not remaining stagnant, but to constantly be growing, evolving, learning more about yourself, learning more about others. And rather than seeing things as, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening for me? Just changing your whole perspective, because I truly believe that so many things are designed to be lessons, to teach us things in life so that we can elevate ourselves. And if you truly listen to the power of the universe, you can learn so much. Like, it's just deeply amazing, like so profound at the amount of information that is out there. And so astrology to me is just a tiny, tiny little bit of that puzzle. Not puzzle, but piece, you know? And so I wanted to talk to you guys about some books that I absolutely love. Again, I'm more than happy to talk about stuff like this more. If you guys are interested, let me know, because I don't know if I need to do a separate channel or if I can just incorporate this on my existing channel. However, there's just so much that I'm interested in and that I have learned, and I would love to be able to share that information with you guys. So if you could, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you want to see this information incorporated on my beauty channel, or if you want it on a different channel. And if there's anything specific that you would like me to do a video about, I would love to do that for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share some books with you, especially if you're interested in astrology or just getting started. This is one of my absolute favorite books. The only astrology book you'll ever need. This one is hands down amazing. So I got this from the bookstore and I was just browsing through it and I just loved it so much. The amount of detail is wonderful. So basically, what I will start off with prefacing is that you are more than just your sun sign, right? You can't put everybody in a box and say, oh, all Cancers are like this, all Geminis are like this, all Scorpios are like this, oh, I'm never going to date an Aquarius. I mean, you can, right? But you're really limiting yourself and your options at that point because we are so much more than our sun sign. So within astrology, there are many different aspects to that. So there are the planets, so Venus, Mars, Mercury, Pluto, all of those things. There's different signs and there's different houses. There's 12 houses in astrology, and your rising sign actually is what dictates the placement of your, what am I trying to say? Basically how everything is kind of laid out for your chart. So anyway, I think also, like for example, your moon sign is about your emotions, things like that. Your Mars sign can be like your drive, your passion, how you pursue things in life. For a Venus sign for a man, it can be the type of woman that they attract. Venus sign for a woman can be kind of how she acts. For me, I am a Venus in Gemini, so I'm very much into mental stimulation. It's really important for me to have intellectual conversations and to be with someone that can teach me stuff, keep things interesting, you know? Not doing mundane. Obviously, it can happen sometimes, right? Life can't always be exciting every day, but to me, life is about growth, expansion, things like that. So, yeah. Okay, so anyway, back to this. So the only astrology book you will ever need, this is by Joanna Martine Wolfuk, and this talks about the sun signs, it talks about your moon sign, it talks about compatibility, it talks about your Mars sign, your Venus sign, what those placements actually, or what the planets even mean, and then what the placements mean within that specific planet. So if you want to know what your placements are, you will need the time of your birth. If you go online to Google, type in birth chart free. My favorite one is called Cafe Astrology. And then you plug in the information, it will tell you all your placements. And as long as you know the time, it will give you your rising sign and your houses. So if you don't know the time of your birth, you can still get like your Mercury sign, sun, moon, not your moon, your sun, Venus, Mars, Mercury, and some other placements, but not all of it. But it kind of gives you a starting point. So for astrology, for me, I like to use it as a tool to kind of like learn more about myself, learn more about others, especially because, let's say, for example, there's a mismatch in communication. Well, my Mercury is in the sign of Cancer. Maybe that person's Mercury is in the sign of, I don't know, Sagittarius, you know? And so it's kind of like, it's how you kind of connect with others, and really you can use it to the advantage of really learning more about yourself, about others, and how you can better communicate with and relate to other people, in addition to really learning more about yourself. And I think with anything in life, we should always be working on ourselves. No one's perfect, right? So it's really important to constantly be evolving, growing, and so forth. So what I love about this book, like for example, what is Pluto? What is Neptune? What are these different aspects? Mars aspects, Jupiter aspects, Saturn aspects, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, and so forth. It's just truly a wonderful book. That this was the first book that I ever purchased when it came to astrology. And it's just so wonderful. Like it's a lot of information to go into in a short video, but if you're kind of getting into it, I think this book is really the best book that you can buy to kind of teach you about astrology, and then you can kind of go from there. Another book that I absolutely love, this one is a big book. It's called The Secret Language of Birthdays. I love this book so much. So much. It's the coolest thing. So basically, if I look up my birthday, it tells you a little bit as far as people that were born on this day, your numbers and planets, tarot, health, advice, strengths, weaknesses, meditation, things like that. It's kind of I would say this is kind of a fun book, honestly. Like, to me, it's just so cool. Like, just if you know, like, your mom's birthday, your dad's, obviously you do, right? Just pulling up that information and reading about it in this book, it's like, oh my god, it's like so cool. And then what I like about it too is it will tell you the different decans. So for each astrology sign, there's 3 different decans depending on when in the month you were born. So for me, I'm a Cancer decan number 1, I believe. Hopefully I'm not giving you guys too much information about myself, but I believe I'm a Cancer decan 1. I'm pretty close to Gemini. So to me, I feel like I do have some Gemini traits, and I do have some Gemini placements in my chart. And I actually resonate pretty heavily with Gemini as well. So it's just really cool. So anyway, it will tell you about the cusps. It will tell you about the different decans as well for each sign. And it will tell you where the decans lie. So for example, with Pisces, Pisces decan 1 is February 23rd to March 2nd. Pisces decan 2 is March 3rd to March 10th. And decan 3 is March 11th to March 11th through the 18th. And what's cool about that too is the personalities depending on which decan that you're in. It's just amazing. It also tells you advice as well, as far as like advice for life based on the decan that you're in. And yeah, I love this book. It's, to me, it's just a really fun book. I'll tell you, I'm going to read to you what it says here on the inside cover. Many people have long suspected, as astrologers believe, that the day you were born affects your personality. While no one knows exactly how or why, birthdays do tend to be uncannily accurate predictives of psychological tendencies. The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary blah 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 describes in detail the characteristics and quirks of personality associated with being born on a particular day of the year. Let's see. Based on a combination of astrology, numerology, the tarot, and many years of observation of more than 14,000 people, including contemporary and historical figures, this book proposes that all of life is cyclical. People born on the same day occupy the same point in the year's cycle and thus share certain characteristics. Learn what famous personalities were born on your birthday, study your astrological sign and your personology profile. Your strengths, weaknesses, and major concerns will be illuminated while you are given practical advice and spiritual guidance. While you study your profile, you will find it hard to resist examining those of family, friends, colleagues, and favorite celebrities. No one who reads this book can feel left out, since each one of us has a birthday. The Secret Language of Birthdays may help to bring people to a better understanding of themselves and others, including those living now, those who have gone before, and even those yet to come. It truly is a celebration of our differences and similarities as human beings. So that kind of sums it up in a nutshell. Again, I think to completely disregard astrology is kind of sad, especially because it just, like, once you really get into it and you learn about it, it just truly is so amazing. And I think that it can be used as such as an incredible tool, powerful tool to help grow, expand, become better people, understand others, understand ourselves as we go through this human experience. So I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I would love to hear your feedback on this. Also, I'd like to know, what are your placements? Do you know your sun, moon, rising sign, your big three? Drop it in the comments. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.